What is up, Tube? And welcome back to another edition of Big House Barber Vlogs. Let's get into this. All right, fellas, we got Raul right here right now with us. Raul and Dave right here. What's up, Dave? Say hi, Dave.
Hey.
Well, we're going to talk to Raul right now. Dave will be up soon because he's going to be coming up for his skateboard test. You guys already know Raul had a skateboard test this past Friday. How'd it go?
I failed.
I told him yesterday. I kind of mentioned it to the guys, but...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just a lot of the stuff on the quizzes doesn't have to really do about barbering. There's every now and then there's questions that come out about barbering, but it's more of like facial stuff, more of like tools and implements and sanitation. That's a lot of like that was most of the questions that were on there. And,
what do you think you did wrong?
Not really like studying as much as like the facial stuff and all that, the bacterial stuff where I messed up on.
So the good thing is that after the test, what happened?
After the test, like you go and like after you take your test, they'll give you like a I guess in a way it's like a progress report, and they'll tell you what questions categories that you missed. So like there's like barbering service. There's like the tools one.
Tools and implements.
Yeah, and then there's like maybe like another two or three other categories. I don't remember what the names were. But yeah, it was just like
one of them was probably like biology.
Maybe I think that's what it might have been or something. Like
I remember when I took my test, there was a lot of biology questions on the test. So you know.
Yeah, and then like there's also like those big words that come out like for for the sanitation and stuff like that.
Sanitation?
Like yeah, you gotta know like what causes what to form what causes
what how do you get ringworm?
Exactly, or like just like different things like that. And then like one of the test questions was like when you're gonna do like a curl on a hair, like what kind of brush or comb do you need? And there's like different ones. There was like a paddle brush.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a bore thing, or like it was just like other like random questions like that.
And if you really think about it, guys, like in the barbering business, you're never gonna use a flat iron. I mean,
a curling iron.
Maybe a curling iron, or even maybe a flat iron. Or like I had to use a flat iron, maybe on a beard.
Yeah.
But not on a guy's hair, you know what I mean? But still, these are things that you have to know for the test. Because if you don't, then what happens is, you know, you're going to go in there blindsided. Kind of like what Raul, I kind of knew this was going to happen because he didn't go to formal barber school. And when you don't go to formal barber school, you know what I mean? You won't learn a lot about, you'll learn about sanitation because that's what one of the classes is for. Yeah. But you're not going to learn it as more detailed than going to school, where in school they teach you how to maintain your tools, how to, you know, they learn that more here in the shop, which they have, but not the terminology maybe.
Right.
You know, like the book-wise, you know, because here you have to maintain your station, you have to maintain your jar, you have to maintain sanitation, you have to clean your tools.
Yeah.
You know, and you're taught that here as an apprentice at the shop, to where when you go to barber school, you learn that in class, you know. So maybe we just, you know, it's just one of the things you have to learn at the shop, you know.
For sure. And then what else?
How was it when you first get in there? Was it nerve-wracking?
I was a little nervous.
How many chests on the how many questions on the test?
There was 60 questions. And you had to get a 75 was the minimum to get like a passing grade, and I got 60 out of 75. And the max you can get is 100, so like a perfect score.
So so you have to get 75% out of 100 to pass.
Correct.
You got 60%.
I got 60%.
So he was off by 15%, which isn't bad. It's probably about 4 or 5 questions. You know what I mean? You were probably off by passing.
And then I think what kind of like really messed me up was like I kind of second guessed myself. So when I finished the test, I still had about like 45 minutes left. So what I did is I went back to the first question, and then I kind of went back and started reading all the other questions. And like the ones that I wasn't really too sure of, and I changed them. So who knows? Maybe if I didn't change them, the outcome would have been different, or maybe it might be the same. But
it's always good, guys, when you go in to take a test like that, to not second guess yourself. Go back and change. What I do on tests like this, and this is a good thing for when you do it next time. Say you're doing the question and you don't understand the question, or maybe you're not too sure about it. How about leaving it blank?
Yeah, you could do that. You can
leave it blank and then go back and review the ones that you left blank. That way you don't second guess yourself. Because once you put something down, I recommend that you don't change it. Because a lot of times your gut instinct is a lot better than, like second guessing yourself and thinking that maybe it's not going to be as good.
And also too, on the test, you guys got to learn about the color wheel. Like one of the questions was like, how am I going to turn somebody's hair from blonde to like brunette brown, or like some type of brown? Like you had to like, it said like use red and green, yellow and green, like just there's ways to do it. I just, like I said, like I just didn't really read on that kind of stuff. I thought it was gonna be like more of a barbering test than more like a cosmetology test.
No, it's a lot of cosmetology on there. A lot of cosmetology, guys. There's very little actual barbering. Even when I took the test and you had to go in there and actually do a service on a person, I mean, that was pretty much all that was barbering. Other than that, everything else was cosmetology.
Yeah. Does it ask you like the freehand, backhand?
No, it didn't ask me like if I was like.
Dave's asking if they asked any questions about the different strokes for. The different strokes for the shave, like when you're doing a shave, like going forward, backhand, how many strokes on the face?
Yeah. No, I didn't say anything about that, but it did say one thing about a straight razor. Like when you're holding the straight razor by where you put the blade in, and like what's that little thing called that you put your pinky on?
The handle.
No, it's a heel.
The heel?
Yeah, not like, okay, so like the blade.
Right here? The heel of the blade? See, I didn't even know it was called
that. Yeah, that little thing. Yeah, that little thing right there. Like they asked me what was that called?
Wow.
And I think it's called the heel.
You better look that up.
No, yeah. But that's what I put, and then like I said like earlier, like it breaks down on what questions they have on there, and then like it had like a barbering questions, it had like 20 questions, and I got like 15 of those right. And then like what the tools and implement ones.
Did you copy of that up here?
Yeah. So it tells you like what questions.
What question do you need to go back and
kind of review? Yeah. So it tells you what categories they were in, and then it tells you how many questions were on there and how many you got right of those questions.
Now, what I suggested to Raul he do is take that sheet, find out what chapter in your book that section is, and go back and read it. Read that section, and then restudy that section of the test, because in the back of your little test book, they usually break it down in sections, right? Or is it all just random questions? Usually they break it down.
It's all random questions, but like say like if you wanted to like do like let's just say for instance like let's just say like chapter like 7 is like let's just say hair coloring. I'm really not too sure if it is or not, but let's say it is, and then like. In the little the mid lady book, it gives you like the worksheet, like kind of like a guideline of what to like work on and stuff like that. Like pretty much like at the end of every chapter you have
practice tests.
Exactly, and
those are good practice tests to study with. You know what I mean? At the end of each chapter, because those are gonna come up, guys. And guys, trust me. Even when I took my test 20-something years ago, it was the same way for me. Like, I went in there, and I got blindsided by a couple of things also, because, when you're in barber school, you're not thinking, if you're thinking yourself, like, say you go to a barber school, okay? If you're in a barber school that has cosmetology and barbering at the same place, they're going to teach you about both. And you're going to tend to say, like, oh, I don't need to listen to the cosmetology part. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
You really do, because when it comes up on the test, it's going to blindside you, and you're not going to be prepared for some of those questions, you know what I mean?
Maybe later today when we go to the pad, I'll show you guys what the, like the little guideline or the
You know what? It'd be a
breakdown.
good idea. We'll do another video another day. Bring back your score sheet.
Yeah.
So that we can go over it, and we'll look over it, and we'll go over some of the questions. That way some of the people on our channel that are going to be taking the test in the future will know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
Now Dave, on the other hand, just filled out his application for his license as well. Send it in when did you send it in, Dave?
On Thursday.
On Thursday. So he should be getting his test date within probably, I would say, a month and a half.
Yeah.
So, Raul, what do you have to do now that since you failed the test?
So now I need to refill out an application, so I can take my test and then send it in. Resubmit it to state board and then wait for them to give me another test date.
And how much is that going to cost you?
Like a $75 money order.
$75 money order.
Yeah.
See, so
That paid
$125. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it costs you $75 to retest, guys. So that's another thing. If you don't pass on your first time, don't sweat it. Like, I mean, trust me, guys. You're going to get 5 chances if you have to. You know what I mean? Like, eventually you're going to pass it. The thing is, never give up.
Nah.
Keep trying. Keep studying. And resubmit. And eventually, when you get that license...
And don't worry, you're not the only one that didn't fail the first time. Like,
nah,
I'm
a lot
sure,
of people fail the first time. That's why when you were going, I wasn't really too worried about it. I was like...
Me neither, like...
It's kind of like a practice test the first time, except it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
It's just questions on the Quizlet are like about the shampoo and stuff.
Yeah, like it also tell you like what's a pH balance of like conditioner and stuff like that, or like what is a conditioner do for the hair? What is shampoo made for the hair, like, and stuff like yeah, you gotta know a bunch of stuff. That's more of cosmetology and
pH balance is numbers. So
yeah. Like I think like one of them was like 20, like 2.5 to like 4.5, 4.5 to like 6.
What's the app that you use, Dave or Raul?
Quizlet. I have it's called Kelly Barber. It's 109 like flashcards.
Flashcards?
Uh-huh.
What's it called under?
Quizlet.
Kelly Barber. That's Quizlet, like the app. It's called Kelly Barber.
It's under Kelly Barbers? Oh, okay. So if you guys download an app called Quizlet, and then in there's a category called Kelly Barbering, right?
Yeah, I'll send it to you and you can put the link.
And Dave will send it to me and I'll put it on the link on the bottom. If you're a California barber, this is for California, but I'm sure Quizlet probably has it for every state. You know what I mean? It's not going to be just for California.
And I feel like all kind of questions are going to not necessarily be word for every state, but it's going to be somewhere along the lines of each question. Barbershop. Like I don't think like New York is going to have different questions from California. Like we all got to know the same things. We all got to know everything about cosmetology, barbering, freaking facials.
Right.
If I were you guys do too, I would like learn about like what, like when you're doing facials and stuff like that. Like another question was like, when you're doing a facial, what's the reason why you drape your client when you do a facial? And then like some of the answers was like to protect their eyes, to protect their ears, like protect your clothes and their clothes.
Did you pass that question or no?
I'm not. It doesn't tell you exactly what questions
you
pass or what questions you actually got wrong, because I want to say they might use like the same test over and over again, but maybe in different orders or just different questions.
I'm pretty sure that's what they do, guys.
Yeah.
They use the same test, but what they do is they sometimes they'll word it a little different, or they'll renumber the test so you don't remember the order of the test, you know. But it's probably going to be, I guarantee you, the test is 100 questions.
The 60.
The total question,
I'm
saying the whole total question is 100, but they move them around. They only give you 60. You know what I mean? So,
And then another question was like how Big Al said about biology. Like they asked you, what is the T? What is it? What did they say? What's the T on the face? Like what's like the letter the T that the face makes? Like what does it consume of? Like the forehead, the eyes, the ears, or it went like the top of the head to the bottom of the chin.
Shit, I didn't even know
to
that
the ears. You know, like I just that's the stuff that I gotta really like kind of really study on a little bit more.
And that's exactly how a state board test is, guys. It's not straight up. They're gonna throw a lot of curveballs at you. They're gonna throw questions at you, and there's gonna be two answers that make no sense whatsoever to throw you off.
There was a couple times where like, okay, so like when I was telling the guys earlier yesterday, like what does it mean when you leave more hair on the crown than you do on the nape? Like the question was like a fade, texturing, tapering, and then it was like some other random ass question or answer. And then the answer is obviously tapering because, you know, you should know that one. You start
short from the nape and you're moving your way up. You should know that already. As a barber, you should know that. But it's the way it's worded, too. It doesn't really, like, if you don't know what a nape is, then you're not going to know what the answer to that question is. So you have to know some of the terminology that barbering uses. Like, we don't say neck, we say nape. You know, you use around here, it's called the parietal ridge. You should know stuff like that, guys. Those are things, of course, you're going to learn as you go also.
And then also tells you like I forgot what it was. It was like what was some tendon, and it was like either like on the top of your head, the side of your head, or like by your cheeks or some shit like that. Like it was just like those kind of questions. It's just more like biology, freaking sanitation. But now since they gave me that little breakdown of what I really kind of need to study on, like Al said, like I'm going to go into my book and then I'm going to check to see what chapters they are. And then from there, so I can take the chapter review test and like know some of the terms from that.
The good thing is he still has another month and a half probably before his next test.
Yeah.
So you'll have time to
really study again.
And this time hit it a little bit harder than last time, of course, you know?
Like when I went to go take the test this time, like I was studying, but I wasn't really like studying like as I would do for like a high school like a test or like a college test, you know?
Yeah.
I told you now the other day, I was like, you're actually smarter than me. You passed the test the first time.
My daughter actually passed the barber test the first time, and she took it when it was actual, you know, the old barber test where you had to come in and bring in a actual person. Yeah. I remember when she went, she took a family friend of ours whose name was Dan. He used to live at my mom's house at the time. He was renting a room from us. And I remember we told him, like, leave some stubble. At that time, you had to walk in with a stubble on your face and actually do a shave on a person. And I remember when he went in that morning, he actually had, like, a little beard. Like, you know, like a stubble. His beard was so tough that he still had the beard stubble. And I told him, his last instructions for her model was, whatever you do, if she cuts you, do not go, ouch! You know what I mean? Like, just suck it up, take it like a man, let her clean it up, and you'll be fine, you know? But I remember she was telling me, like, Dad, the other guys that brought their models were shaven. They didn't even have hair on their face. He's all like, my model was the only one that had facial hair. And that day, I was pretty cool. She knocked it out of the park. She actually passed it on the first time, which was cool, you know what I mean? But trust me, guys, there's a lot of people that don't pass the first time. My brother was another one that didn't pass it the first time. So don't get discouraged if you're on your second or even your third test. The key is to not give up.
Yeah.
I know barbers that work barbering right now that went through whole barbering school, all 1,500 hours, and then when it came down to getting their test, they couldn't pass the test, and they gave up after 1 or 2 tries. Now, to me, that's not very smart. You know what I mean? You invest all that money, invest all that time, and then not to walk away with a license, and you still want to be a barber? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like,
sound like a garage barber to me.
No, these guys are actually barbers. They own their own shop and stuff. It's just, you know, they're not licensed, you know. And
Yeah.
it's kind of sad. I mean, I think
sketchy.
if you're gonna invest your time in this and you want to be a professional barber, you want to call yourself a barber, then the best thing to do is actually get a license, guys. You know, technically, you could be a barber all you want. There's a lot of barbers out there that don't have licenses, and I'm not putting you guys down. I'm not, but you know, technically, in the eye of the law, you're not a barber. You know what I mean? You're a hair cutter. You know, like a barber has a license and works at a licensed establishment. You know, like that's the only difference, guys. But this is just a little feedback of how it went for Raul. You know, proud of these guys. They did what they have to do. You know what I mean? They haven't gotten it yet. They're almost there, but they're gonna get it.
And what's crazy is when you go take your test, they check your pockets. Like they tell you, like, empty out all your pockets. I had my Apple Watch on my wrist, and the guy was like, "Give me your watch." I was like, "What?" I was about to fight him because he told me, like, "Give me your watch."
They thought you were getting jacked.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna fucking come up on my stuff. But they give you like a little locker, and they make sure you put all your stuff in there because they don't want no cheating. They even have, like, dude, it's crazy. Like, they have cameras in there. Like, if you go and try to scratch your ass, like, they'll see it. Like, you know,
They're watching the whole.
Yeah, they're watching. And you're not the only one taking a barber test. Like, when I went, I think there was like maybe like 2 other guys taking their barber test, and there was a couple like females that went in there or taking their cosmetology test. So like, everyone's in there taking different things. Not everyone is in there to take their barber test. But overall, it was a little nerve-wracking. But once I sat down and started like answering some of the questions and kind of got my feet wet, it wasn't so bad after all.
What I suggest next time for sure is don't second guess yourself. Go with your first answer.
Yeah.
Don't. But you know, the good thing is he got his feet wet and he knows exactly what needs to be done now, guys. It's just a matter of executing the plan and continuing and just doing what we need to do to get that piece of paper, you know. Once you get that piece of paper, guys, then you're set for life. You can go on and do something else, start another business, go to school. Your barber license is for life. All you got to do is pay your $50 every 2 years and you're going to be golden, you know. It's like Dave. Dave has other things going on. He's an actor and he's doing commercials and he's doing this and doing that. And that's okay, you know, you can do that. But he's already worked this hard for his barber's license, you know. Like, all you have to do now is complete the final step and then you're set, you know. And you always have that to fall back on, you know. Even if you don't want to do this or even if you're not too sure, you know, like I always tell my boys, barbering is not going to make you rich. But you can live a good, happy, comfortable life. Taking care of your family, taking care of, you know, taking care of business, and you'll never be poor.
And if you guys get your date and you guys don't feel like you guys are ready, like, I would still just to go in there and go and try still take that test. Like, you never know, like, you may not feel like you're ready, but when you're in there and reading the questions, they might come to you like, oh, it's D, or oh dang, I remember this one, it's A, like, you know, like. And you always, like, when you guys are like reading the questions, like, take your time a little bit and read the questions and kind of figure out like process of eliminations of all the ridiculous answers that are in there.
That's one thing I told Raul that's true, is that when you go in there, guys, you read that question, read all the answers, eliminate the 2 ridiculous answers, and then you'll have one educated answer and one guessing answer, you know.
Yeah.
And that way you break it down, you break your chances down from 25 to 50%.
There you go, Bubby.
That's mine.
How's it going?
That's my appointment.
What's up, dude?
But that's it for this segment, guys. We just want to share how he did on his test, and then we'll talk about this later. All right, guys?
Good luck on anyone that's going out there to take their test. You guys got this.
Yeah, don't be scared, guys. Just take the test. It's like you said, even if you fail it, you can still get it. You'll get it back on the next time.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
All right, guys. But with that being said, we're gonna end this vlog right here, and then we'll talk to you guys later.
Later.
Got him.